What's going on, guys? And today we are cooking Viking balls. Sort of.
Tonight we'll see and hear firsthand
This kind of sound.
Let's hear the rest of it.
What you're going to need for the Viking balls is ground pork, ground beef, chuck if you can get it, salt, pepper. You're going to need some allspice, nutmeg, onion, and then I'm going to make some potatoes and steam up some green beans. So tonight what I thought I would do is I would tell you guys a story and do some cooking. And cooking is all about the timing, and that's very important for tonight's story. Now, some time ago I asked many of you to tell me about your ink. Some of you have shown me I've been a little bit hesitant to tell you what all my tattoos are about. I will tell you, so long as you can keep the lid on it. Sometimes life is kind of like loaves of bread, right? Just kind of bland, kind of meaningless, and they're really good at soaking up things to try to make them not so bland, right? If you're not careful what you're absorbing, your bread is going to taste pretty nasty. From going to be plain and dull, well, it's just downright disgusting, to something you'd want to throw in a gutter. And that's kind of like my life. And that's where we start our story. No matter how much you cut up life, you can cut it up fine into small little pieces. You still have to put it in something, unless you're in prison, of course, to give it some kind of variety. Well, I didn't always choose the best things to sponge up out of life. And I can never quite figure out why. My life always seemed kind of awkward. And I would fill it, or I would sponge things up so that I could try to hide from those things, if you will. I didn't like the flavor. Nobody ever really gave me any kind of ideas other than what I was born with, what they taught me in school, etc. I mean, I kind of had a basic instinct as to what was right and what was wrong. But, I don't know. My mind always made decisions that I don't think ordinarily most people would make. No sense in crying over spilled milk, huh? But the reality is I cried a lot because I couldn't figure things out. And I did other things that I'm not really too proud about. Matter of fact, most of my viewers probably wouldn't have liked me too much when I was growing up. Life was just all kinds of mixed up. I kind of wanted to rely on luck a lot, but I thought I knew best. And that's pretty much, well, the part of my spiritual story. Joe knows best. He really doesn't. Just like this onion, you want to understand the fact that life really has multiple layers. By the way, Flife, this is my secret for cutting onions. Notice I'm not going all the way through the end of the onion. And you want to cut your onion where the roots are at a 10 o'clock angle. You don't even need to go crossways like this because the way we've cut it now is going to make nice small pieces, and I'm going to mince so it's all staying together, not falling apart. See? Because I didn't cut it all the way through. Look how fine I can get it. And it's all staying together relatively nicely. But the reality is that just like green beans, what I later learned once I started seeing things with a new perspective is that you got to get rid of some of the bad pieces and keep only the good. And that life can be this vivid green. Hey Kai. And I guess that's kind of why I like cooking, because you're taking raw ingredients. Once you've figured out that life isn't quite as green as what you think it might be, you can strip it all down and do whatever in the hell you want to rebuild something and rebuild it the right way. And that's what I had to do. And that's basically what my tattoos are all about. Now, once I woke up and realized that I wasn't able to do this on my own, life got a whole lot better. Now, a big question I always ask myself is, am I being teachable today? Or do I think I know everything? And then I learned something. That after all these things that I picked up and rebuilt my life completely, actually I think I've rebuilt my life 3 times. So I laugh at people and say, well, you can't do this, so you have no imagination. Really? I realized that I had the power to do whatever I wanted to within reason, provided it was on a strong footing, and I remained teachable, and I became of service and decided to help others. It's the only way I could keep it. So back to the recipe, I'm going to put in my breadcrumbs that I had soaking in milk, the onions that I sweated, and 2 egg yolks. I'm also going to add 1/4 teaspoon allspice and 1/4 teaspoon nutmeg. And you got to use the nutmeg, right? Because Vikings are just bunches of nuts. And, I don't know. Maybe like that much salt. And then a couple dashes of black pepper. And now, for the meat. And we're just going to mix it up. So you're going to have to get in there with your frickin' hands and make some balls. Good Viking balls are no really bigger than about 1 ounce each, so if you happen to have a weight handy, fabulous. If not, that looks about right. But that's the whole principle about my life. I had to grab life by the balls and do something. I had to do something, and I had to make the change. And my life isn't all about trying to get everything done all at once. Making slow changes, adding heat, making little things better over time. So I will do with the meatballs the same thing. I will do each ball batch one at a time until I complete everything and make an awesome, awesome dinner. That's what it should look like when it's done. So I make them in batches. I put them in a warmed oven to about 200 degrees while I'm cooking them. And I'm sauteing in about 2 tablespoons of butter. And I got my temperature set to about medium-low. Each meatball will take you about 10 minutes per batch, give or take. Make sure to cut them in half. You are cooking with pork. No pink. So back to my story while I'm cooking the balls. Ladies, I would have probably kicked my own ass growing up. Just like this meat, I had to be broken apart, ripped to pieces, and put back together to build something new. And I've done this a few times in my life. One significantly, and from there I basically built a foundation so that when the last couple of times that things have kind of crashed down, I had a decent foundation to work off of. And that's basically what I aim to represent. My spiritual story. off our last batch. Go ahead and get us a quick cut. Make sure it's safe to eat. Oh yeah. No pink. So as we all know, Vikings have some very sweaty balls. And for sweaty balls, you're going to need gravy, right? So all that black stuff in there, that's what's called fond. You do not want to throw out too much of that if you can avoid it. But what we're going to start doing is we're going to make a roux. I turn my temperature way down on my heat to low. And I'm just going to toss in about a quarter cup of all-purpose flour. I'm just going to get that browned up. Now that our flour is a little browned, we're going to take 3 cups of beef stock or beef broth, and we're just going to put it in a little at a time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to scrape up all that fond from off the bottom of my pan, like deglazing. I'm also going to be mixing in the flour slowly but surely. I'm just giving it a good quick whisk. Mix everything up really good. I'm going to add a little bit of cream, about a quarter cup or so.